variable systems. Now before we get into that, let's just go back and remember solving a system with two variables. This was an Algebra 1 thing. So we're going to look at substitution and elimination, just to remind you of our two most popular choices. So we're going to solve this two variable system below using each method. Now, as a reminder, substitution, the basic idea is that you get one variable isolated in one of the two equations. Then you drop that resulting expression, whatever that thing equals, into that variable spot in the other equation, solve for what you got, and then go back and get the answer to that first variable. With elimination, you use scale factors to rewrite one or both equations so that one variable has opposite coefficients. This way, when you add the two equations together, one variable drops out. You solve for what's left, you go back, you get the other. That's the thing with systems. In the end, you're supposed to give a number value for every variable that you saw to start. So let's do this one by substitution first. There are 4 different ways you could start this. You could solve for x in the first equation, y in the first equation, x in the second equation, y in the second equation. So you can see 4 different starting paths. I'm just going to go with the first one. I took the first equation and I went ahead and solved for y, just like if I was writing y equals mx plus b. So I got y equals 3/5 x plus 8/5. So now I go to the second equation, 4x minus 3y equals negative 14, where I saw the y, I dropped that 3/5 x plus 8/5. Since the y in that second equation was multiplied by negative 3, I went ahead and distributed the negative 3. And then because I really don't like fractions, I multiplied every term in this equation by 5 just to scale up and get rid of those denominators. And I finally got down to x is negative 46/11. Wow, that's fabulous. So now I need to take that x back to one of the original equations and get what y equals. Well, since I had rewritten y is 3/5 x plus 8/5, I figured that's a good place to drop x. So I put negative 46/11 in for y, or for x, to solve for y. Again, the denominators were freaking me out, so I multiplied everything by 5. Then I took care of that 3 times negative 46/11. Then I multiplied everything by 11 because that 11 was bugging me. And I got that y was negative 10/11. So that's my final answer, a coordinate of x comma y. Now if I come to the elimination side of things, I'm going to multiply the top by a scale factor of 3 and the bottom by a scale factor of 5. Again, there is more than one starting point for this process. This is just an example of one of them. In this instance, after I triple the entire top equation and quintuple the entire bottom equation, when I add down, I will notice that my y variables dropped out. And I was left with 11x equals negative 46, and I got negative 46/11. That seemed like a lot less work. Now I can either plug it back in like I did on the substitution side, or I really could just go back and do elimination again, this time making x drop out so I can solve for y. So that's what I'm going to do because that feels easier. I'm going to multiply the top by 4 and the bottom equation by 3, so I did. Now when I add down, my x's drop out. I get 11y equals negative 10, so y equals negative 10/11. Same solution, different approach. So then what happens if we add a third variable? So here we have a 3-variable system. We eventually need to get answers for x, y, and z. And the values for x, y, and z have to make all 3 of these equations true. So we've just upped the stakes. So here's how we do it. I'm going to color code each of these 3 equations just to make it easier to see where they are and what they're doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 equations and make 2 pairs. Then I'm going to apply elimination to each pair in such a way that I make the same variable drop out. So I pick who I want to go away, and I make that same variable go away in both pairs. There are 3 different ways to pair these equations off. I just went with the easiest. the blue and the pink, and the pink and the yellow. That's it. I could have done the blue with the yellow, just didn't feel like it. So in looking at my two pairs, it felt like the x variable might be the easiest to get to drop for both. Because if I look, it's a short multiplication to make x drop out in both cases without having to get into weird scale factors. So I'm going to start with the blue and the pink pair. All right, now if I want x to drop, I need to multiply the top equation by 3 or negative 3, and the bottom equation by 2 or negative 2, depending on which equation I would like to have the negative x coefficient. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the top by 3 and the bottom by negative 2. So here are the scaled up versions of each equation, and I kept the color coding the same so you could see where they came from. If I now add down, my x variable drops out, and I'm left with something new. Now I can't do anything more with this because it has two variables. It's color-coded green. New equation. Let's see what happens next. Now I'm going to come over to my pink and yellow pair, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make x drop out. All I have to do here is just multiply the pink one by positive 2, and I'm ready to go. So the top one gets multiplied by positive 2. The yellow equation didn't need to change at all, so I just recopied it. Now I add down, and I get yet another equation that has both y and z. So I have my green equation, and I have my orange equation. What I'm going to do is put those two together as a system, and I'm going to do the process again. It actually goes back to Algebra 1 now. These two become a system together. Now I need to solve this. Since the z is negative 2 in the green and positive 1 in the bottom, that looks like a really quick double the bottom equation, and I'm ready to go. So that's what I did. I doubled the bottom equation, kept the top the same. Now if I add down, I get that 13y is negative 104, so y is negative 8. Huzzah! We have one of our three answers. What we do now is we backtrack that. We now go back to green or orange and use one of those equations to find the value of z. So, let's think. It looks like the orange one's a little friendlier. The numbers are smaller. So I go back to my orange equation. I put negative 8 in for y, and I get that z is negative 2. So now I have both y and z. I backtrack one step further. I go to blue, pink, or yellow, and I use the two z and y numbers to plug in and get x. So I decided to go to pink because it had some of the smallest coefficients. I put the negative 8 in the y spot, the negative 2 in the z spot, did some math and solved and got x equals 3. And so the final answer as a coordinate in alphabetical order is 3, negative 8, negative 2. That's how it works. So let's look at another example. Now you might say we've only done elimination. What about substitution? We can do that too, especially in a system like this one. If you noticed, my second equation, y equals x minus 2, is already solved for y, and in fact doesn't even have z in it. This makes it a perfect candidate for a substitution. I can take that x minus 2 and drop it into the other two bigger equations. That will eliminate y and bring me back to a two-variable system, which we know how to solve. So I put the y into the first top equation, and then over here on the right, I put the y in for the second equation. I dropped x minus 2 in. Now, in both cases, I just need to do some simplifying. So on the left, I didn't have to do much other than drop the parentheses. I gathered my x, gathered my z, and I moved the minus 2 to the other side to join the 4. On the right, I distributed the negative 5. I gathered my x terms, I gathered my z terms, and I move the 10 over to join its buddy, negative 72. Now I have two equations with two variables. So I'm going to take those two equations and solve like I used to. Looks like it'd be real easy to triple that bottom equation, and then z is going to drop out, and I get that x is 10. Knowing that x is 10, I went back to 3x minus 3z equals 6, put 10 in for x, and I got z was 8. Then I went back to the y equals x minus 2, since x is 10, and I got that y was also 8. And so the final answer was 10, 8, 8. So as you can see, the secret behind a three-variable system is to use whatever tricks you know to make one variable completely go away. Once one variable's gone, then you have a two-variable system and you can solve. And then it's a case of working your way backwards. So that's how you solve a three-variable system. I suggest trying a few examples. Be aware these are difficult and tedious. One tiny error with a negative sign can send it spiraling off. Do know that most of the examples that you get, especially lower numbered ones in math textbooks, are most likely going to come out with answers like this last one. Integers, maybe fractions of halves and thirds. If you start to get fractions of 35ths and 27ths, you probably made a mistake. You should go back and check your work. Good luck, and be aware you will most likely not get them right on the first try, and that's okay.